So, Tyler, much like the hopes and dreams of everyone hoping for an actual point to this Jey Uso Gunther story, those hopes and dreams are dead, and so is Tim. Welcome to Kickout Club Wrestling Podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Tim's not here. He had technical issues and technical jargon.
He's out with technical jargon. He
We
lost
actually-
his oofalafa.
Yeah, he lost his falafel. Every possible bad thing that could have possibly happened to him in the last hour did.
Yeah, man.
I'm Yusuf. That's Tyler. Let's
What's up?
go.
Oh, real quick before we do go, I'm trying to get in the habit of plugging at the beginning of the show just in case. So, y'all, before we get into things, you can support us if you like what you've seen so far and what you haven't seen yet but will see by hitting that follow button. Right there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all that stuff. If you're watching on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcast distributing platform, you can follow us there. You can leave us a 5-star review. We'd love a review. If you could tell us how amazing we look in this light, if you could talk about your favorite food or anything really, as long as you leave something there, maybe that loosely has something to do with the show. It does nothing but help us. We'd really appreciate your support. You can go find us on TikTok as well, Kickout Club over there, on Twitter, Kickout Club on Twitter as well. Yeah, man, we got all this weekly podcast. We got some YouTube content, some short form content on YouTube Shorts and TikTok, all that good stuff. I actually just posted a video this past week, fantasy booking, how I think WWE should book Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 41, which we will get into a little bit in the show. But yeah, I think that's enough shilling for now. Yeah, where do you want to start, brother?
Speaking of shilling, we might as well just rip the Band-Aid off and talk about it now. So Gunther and Jey Uso is wasting my fucking time. It is wasting my time. So, right. About a month ago-ish, when the Rumble happened, post-Rumble, we were talking about this, and about 2 weeks into it with the Jey Uso Gunther thing, I was complaining because to me they're just rehashing the Saturday Night's Main Event story, even though SNME technically isn't canon, but it is. And it's just constantly rehashing the story of LOL, Jey Uso, you're nothing but a tag wrestler, you can't fucking out wrestle me, I'm the greatest wrestler of all time, Gunther. And I complained about it. Now, the follow to that was from these boys. Well, Tom's not here, but we have 10 weeks to do this. We have 10 weeks to make this right. We have 10 weeks to take our time and make this feel bigger than it should be, because this is a world title match at WrestleMania. Jey Uso won the Rumble to get this match. It may be main events night one. I don't know about that anymore, but we'll see. And we are a month, like 5 weeks now, till Mania. At the time of recording this, it is the 13th of March. WrestleMania is on the 19th and 20th of April. So we're about a week and, like a month and a week away. 5 weeks. Let's say 5 weeks. And I'm not even bored. I just don't give a shit about the story. And I can't say it's Jey Uso's fault, because I don't think it is. But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'll tell you what's happening. They're rushing the story. They're about 2 to 3 weeks ahead of where I think they should be in the story. And I also think that they're getting people involved in the story that have nothing to do with Jey Uso or Gunther as characters. I talk about it in the YouTube video. I don't want to explain the whole video here, because that's a 25-minute video and you don't need to hear all of it here. It's a great video. Go check it out. I'm really proud of it. I know I talk about it. I've been talking about it a lot, but I literally go week to week, like the raw of 1 week to the next, to the next, to the next, all the different, like talking about all the settings and where they're at and all that stuff, and talk about what happens on each show. Literally takes you through the entire story of how they should have booked this, because my God, they're fucking it up. But I digress. The story has become a six-person story that should only be 2. They're fixating on such a minute part of the story that really should have just been a 1 week, 2 week story. It's now been almost a month. Gunther starts off by basically getting a squash match against Akira Tozawa. Perfect. I think that was great. I included that in my build. However, that's where it ended, where Jey makes the save after Gunther attacks Akira and Otis. Use them to get him over, look like a big monster, and then you have Jey make the save as the big baby face. Perfect. We love it. They're extending it way too long. Like, they're making it now so like it's Jey and Alpha Academy against Gunther and A-Town Down Under. Why the fuck are we getting these random tag partners that have nothing to do with either guy when you have tag partners right there? Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, Jey Uso, Big Jim. So easy, dog. It's so easy. And they're just like making it so much harder and so much messier than it needs to be. I think part of the problem is that it took 2 weeks from winning the Rumble for Jey to announce, hey, Gunther, I'm coming after you. This could have been drawn out till at least the go-home week to Elimination Chamber. I think they could have even gone to the Raw after Elimination Chamber for Jey to make his decision. Built intrigue going into Chamber because a couple of other people I follow, creators in the space, have talked about this in the build to Elimination Chamber, but part of the fact that the winner was guaranteed to be facing Cody because Jey had already made his choice to face Gunther made it so half the field was immediately like, yeah, they're not going to win and face Cody. There's no realistic way. It took Logan Paul out, it took Damian Priest out, and it kind of took Drew McIntyre out, even though Drew did tease it. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right for any of them to win and face Cody. If you had Gunther still in play there, where the winner gets a world title opportunity, depending on who Jey picks, the fact that Gunther could have been a possibility allows Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest to all be in play. I don't think that this is the wrong story to go with right now. I just don't think they're telling it right. I think that's my biggest issue with it, because it's right there, man. Gunther's the in-ring purist, and Jey just is the guy for show. It's the contrast. You know what I mean?
No, it is the contrast, but going into a WrestleMania title match, world title match specifically, there has to be some story there that isn't just, this is for the title. Because we've had that in the past, and it doesn't work well. Right? This is one of those where I look at it and go, I don't know what this story is supposed to be anymore. And you're right, it's because it's supposed to be the contrast. The story is supposed to be, you have this in-ring purist who is this technical master, right? He is defending what he believes is the most sacred title in the company against probably the biggest showman in the company right now. I'd say Jey Uso is probably the biggest showman in the company.
He's one of the least wrestlery wrestlers.
Exactly. He's not a wrestler. He's an entertainer. Right?
He's a sports entertainer.
He's a sports entertainer. Hey, Daniel Garcia, how you doing? But for some reason, we have months. We had 2 weeks. No, sorry, 2 months to do this, right? To pull this off properly. Tell a story. The problem is, how do you do that? And WWE goes, well, what if we start including all these people? We didn't need this. Yeah, I also wish the Tozawa thing was a one-off. Like, you do that, done. Bye. We don't need Tozawa. We don't need Otis. Though I love Otis, but we don't need Otis. We don't need the fucker Grayson and Theory doing here. Like, what? Like, I was complaining about this before we hit record. These guys are they not doing things as a tag team? They're just fucking around with everyone. Like, they were just in NXT against Oba for an NXT title match.
They also just got shipped over to Raw during the transfer window.
Yeah, and now they're here dicking around with Gunther. We don't need this. We didn't need any of this. But for some reason we do, or not that we do. We are getting it, and it's just, we've lost the point. We've lost the point of, we have a build to WrestleMania. Give the fans, us, the people that watch, the people that talk about it, everything. Give us a reason why we should be watching this match come WrestleMania Saturday, probably. Give us a reason why this match should potentially be the main event of the first night of WrestleMania. Give us a reason why Jey Uso might actually take the title off of Gunther. Last year, let me finish this and then I'll get to this.
Please.
Last year, Sami Zayn goes into WrestleMania to take on Gunther for the Intercontinental title. The story was not about the title. That was the secondary part of it. The secondary part was, Gunther has held this for this long, can anyone stop his reign of terror and take the title off him? The first part, though, is Sami Zayn going, am I good enough to beat him? Because everyone knows Sami Zayn is an incredible wrestler. He's not a tag team guy. He's not a showman like Jey Uso is. But Gunther puts his part in and goes, Sami, I know you're better than that, but you'll never be able to beat me. And Sami goes, you're right, but I'm going to prove you wrong at WrestleMania. And then for all those weeks, the build-up, it's Sami working on himself, getting himself ready, psyching himself up for this, not physical battle, this mental battle against one of the most imposing forces in professional wrestling. That's what made it intriguing. That's what got us watching Gunther and Sami for the title. That's what got us excited when Sami won. None of this is working with Jey Uso. And I don't think it's Jey's fault. I can't say it's the fault of anyone that, like, there's too many cooks, and we didn't need to focus. Actually, no, it's not too many cooks. Jey Uso is the cook here. There's too many sous chefs. There's too many assistant chefs running all over the kitchen, going, yes, chef, yes, chef, yes, chef, when we should really just be focused on the two actual guys. But we've lost all of that. For what reason, I don't know. But we need to focus on just the bigger picture of how do we get everyone on Jey Uso's side here. Because it worked with Damian Priest. It worked getting Damian Priest super over going into his matches with Gunther. Gunther going, you're a chump. And Damian Priest going, no, I can...
Street trash.
Yeah, but, like, you know, promos aside. Well, actually, no, the promos were a big part of it. Yeah, the promos were a huge part of it. Damian Priest is a main event guy because of what is, you know, his little campaign with Gunther that was going on. And we got along with Damian Priest. We appreciated this character of Damian Priest more as a wrestler too, and as a talker, because of his time with Gunther. I'm not getting that with Jey Uso. I just don't know why.
We need the Rocky-esque video packages with a Chad Gable-like figure. That's what we're missing. Because I don't know about you, but that's what got me in
I guess so, yeah.
I'm fully joking.
Yeah,
if I may, I don't want to get super into it because, again, what would be the point of watching the video? But let me just give you some of the highlights of the booking that I have for this, because I really think that this is how they should have done it. It really makes me mad because it feels like I feel like this is really good. Anyway, first off, to set the stage, part of the reason why this story hasn't hit for me is because we just got Jey versus Gunther at Saturday night's main event. So what do we do instead? We scrap that for my head canon. What do we do instead? Only the match they built to all throughout the fall. Gunther and CM Punk. Gunther wins clean. Everyone's shocked. Gunther is a monster. He puts Punk to sleep, or he makes Punk tap, or he just pins him. Doesn't matter how you do it. In my opinion, it really doesn't. I think Punk is Punk, and he'd get the momentum back regardless of how he lost. Royal Rumble happens as is. Jey and Cena final two. Jey outsmarts John Cena. He gets the moment with Cena when Cena raises his hand up, one big face to another. Everyone's all happy. The next Raw after the Rumble, same exact thing happens, right? Jey comes out. He's super emotional. He's like happy. He's in tears. And Gunther comes out like, listen, I'm always in control. I refuse to do this with you again. You know, I'm in the process of building a legacy for myself, and you add nothing to that legacy. Beating Cena, Roman, Punk, that adds something, but beating you adds nothing. And if you choose me, every week is going to be hell. In reality, what happened from there was we had 1 week of hell, and Jey was like, all right, I pick you. Like, we should have got more than just 1 week. So what do? We push that off. We have a couple weeks go by. These are all minor stuff, so I'm going to skip through these points. We get to Elimination Chamber. Jey still hasn't made his decision yet. So the chamber match is for either world title #1 contendership. The winner gets whoever Jey does not pick for WrestleMania, which might sound weird, but I don't really care. The Royal Rumble's sick, and it takes precedent over the chamber. That's just how it is. That's how it always is. Let's just acknowledge it. It's fine. Cena wins chamber. He still turns heel on Cody. He still sells his soul to The Rock because The Rock wanted his soul. And yeah. That happens. The Raw after Chamber, Jey is forced to make his decision. We have a Batista or Undertaker like moment where Jey and all the GMs and all the champions are all out there, and Jey has to pick. Make it a whole segment, make it a spectacle. He picks Gunther after he beats the shit out of Jey in the prior week. We have the contract signing at MSG, right? They sign the contract. Gunther has Ludwig Kaiser attack with him. They both attack Jey 2-on-1, and Jimmy Uso makes the save. You get the big surprise pop of Jimmy Uso coming to save Jey, teaming for the first time since War Games in Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden ends with them being happy. Next week is the kickoff of the European tour in Belgium. What's the big match that you have? It's also St. Patty's Day. In the States at least, and I'm assuming maybe other countries as well. If not, it's fine. It's just in the States. So, and it's going to be in the afternoon because in the States because it's in Belgium and we're airing live in Belgium time because of Netflix. So what do? We stack it with a big match. What's the big match? I'll tell you. It's the first time the Usos have teamed in the past 6 months or 4 months. And they lose to Jey and Kaiser because we want to build the narrative. As soon as Jey starts to get some wins and pick up steam, Gunther humbles him again and pins Jey in the match. It's very similar to how Cody gets pinned in the night 1 main event going into night 2. And then we move on. Then we get the week after, we get the Gunther Alpha Academy story, but it's condensed down to 1 week. And then we get a couple more weeks of relatively filler stuff. Then on April 7th Raw in Minneapolis, the first Raw back from the European tour, this is about 2 weeks out from Mania, Gunther then does the segment where he mocks Jey Uso's entrance from the crowd. Why? Because Jey finally got the upper hand on Gunther again in a brawl. And now Jey's in Gunther's head. So what does Gunther do? He resorts to personal attacks rather than in-ring attacks, right? Than physical attacks. So he uses it as a coping mechanism to make fun of him instead of beating him up as Gunther would normally do. And then instead, here's the thing. In reality, he does the entrance, goes to commentary and says, "Hey Pat, as a analyst, as a commentator, what do you think? Do you think Jey has a chance at beating me?" And what does Pat McAfee do? He ruins it, is what he does. He laughs and goes, "Oh, a yeet here, a yeet there. Yeah, he can beat you." That was awful. That was fucking garbage, and that's shameful, especially for Pat McAfee to do. That really ruined my outlook on Pat McAfee. I'm not gonna lie. Do I hate him right now? No. But do I think he's the best, one of the best commentators? No. At this point, I think Wade Barrett is better. But that being said, instead of Pat saying, "Oh yeah, I think Jey could beat you," no, you don't do that. You don't sell this. You don't pull the rug out from the story. The story is Gunther is at the advantage. So you as a commentator, you accentuate that. So Pat and Cole, as the Jey Uso stands that they are, say, "You're right. The numbers don't lie. The stats don't lie. You are, pound for pound, stat-wise, you will beat Jey. There is no way Jey beats you." And then Jey wins. And that's the story. That's all they had to do. I came up with that in like an hour.
There's so much that WWE likes to do. And I get it. You gotta get people doing something instead of just sitting and catering all day. That's fine. But that being said, this is a world title that is being defended at WrestleMania. By the way, this is only if you want to be technical, 3rd time this title is being defended at WrestleMania. Because the first 2 times happened in the span of 20 minutes last year when Seth Rowans defended it against Drew and lost in a great opener, but a worthy opponent, and then Drew got cashed in on. This is the 3rd time it's going to be defended on the show. Make it mean something. Because the other 2, even though the second one wasn't, a great match, it was a cash-in, but it meant something. Because it kick-started the Punk McIntyre feud. Make it mean something. We could go this whole time without this tag team bull, and not to discredit anything you just said, but we could go this entire run without needing this tag team shenanigans and Big Jim. We don't need Ludwig here. None of that. We don't need any of that. If we just had, and I think the Pat McAfee thing bugs me too. That's what we needed. Was Gunther to go to Pat McAfee and go, do you think Jey Uso going to beat me? No, we don't need that. No. Gunther is supposed to be a threat. This man is supposed to be a menacing threat. And we're over here, everyone's already, the rug's been pulled over. The rug's been pulled. You said so, right? Everyone already is under the assumption, yeah, Jay's going to beat him. Jay's going to be who? With that? You fucking kidding me? No? Because even if you do the tag team thing, if you run that, Jimmy gets involved, Kaiser gets involved, the Usos lose, hypothetically, to Kaiser and Gunther. And then Gunther doubles down and says, you're not even a good tag wrestler. You fucking loser. I beat you in your game. You
See,
never
that's why
beat
I
me in
like
mine.
that. That's why I like that.
And
but...
that I will give you that. That works. But focus on that, and then let that be the last tag thing they do, and then you just get back to Gunther and Jay, and you just go. Because Gunther getting, like everyone else getting involved, like Otis, just, what does that do other than it showcases how good of wrestlers they can be? Like, Otis is great. I love Otis.
It makes you yawn is what it does.
Yeah, I know.
Grown.
You know how many times I have to skip through Raw when I catch up the next day on Tuesdays? Like, it's not fun, dude. It's not fun having to skip through Raw, because I'm like, I don't want to watch. I have to actively say, I don't want to watch this Gunther match on TV. But here we are. The point being is they need to find a way to make this story be sensible and get back to the point. Because we lost the point. And we lost the point 2 weeks ago. All right? There's a month and a week until WrestleMania. Get moving. Slow down. Whatever you have to do. Right? But we're losing the whole point of Jey Uso is challenging for the world title. Now, we had tried to do an episode prior to this, but Timmy technical jargon and died. But, a discussion came up about, what if you just had Jey go after the Intercontinental title instead? Does he need to be in this situation? Tyler's argument is that he's bigger than the Intercontinental title. My argument is that he could make the Intercontinental title big again, but it's, fine on Braun Breaker. I'm okay with Braun Breaker. I like me some Steiner. It's like, what else do we do with Jey? They gave him this. They said, Jey, you're ready. You're winning the Rumble. It's not really feeling like it right now. And he deserves it, for everything he's done over the last year. Like, at least getting over wise. Match wise. Being over is shit. Yeah, I'll give him that. One of the biggest merch sellers in the company. Why not win the Rumble? You know what? We'll see how you do. It's been a month and change since the Rumble. And it just isn't there. Unfortunately. Just isn't there.
It's such a weird feeling because, in my opinion, this is the right move. If they wanted to keep the title on Gunther for this long, this was the right move.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they're just not doing it right.
No, and my problem now is I'm starting to think that Gunther might actually win.
Here's that Gunther losing is my only hope in this because I'm bored.
Right, that's the problem. The problem now is everyone is so disinterested that the assumption now is, Gunther's gonna fucking kill him at Mania. Easy, right? But the only way they make this story mean anything is if Jey wins. But again, that is 5 weeks from now. That is 5 weeks of TV that we still have to watch as fans to be on the Jey Uso hype train, to still want to care.
It's 5 weeks of hell, literally.
It's 5 weeks of fucking ridiculousness.
It's
not to mention
sucks.
3 of those weeks are going to be in Europe. So have fun watching Raw during the afternoon, bitch. Like,
it sucks, man.
Yeah.
It sucks because not Raw being in Europe. I think that's actually really cool.
That's cool.
But it sucks because I don't have a better story for you for Gunther for WrestleMania that's not Jey Uso. I don't have a better story for Jey Uso for you than Gunther. I don't. So to me, this feels like a slam dunk, but something doesn't feel right. And the problem is too, I actually really enjoyed Gunther's world title reign. I think he's been a solid world champion. The problem is he's not the most interesting part of Raw right now. He's not the reason I tune in right now. The reason I'm tuning into Raw right now, low key, is the women's world title and Punk and CM Punk. Not even Rollins or Roman.
It's Punk.
It's just Punk. But that being said, this might be a great time to jump over to a different topic because I don't think we're gonna get
we can only
anywhere
beat this
else.
dead horse so long. Yeah.
I mentioned the name Roman Reigns, and you might be wondering, where's Roman been?
Where's Roman? Well, we found him. He's
been absent off TV since the Rumble when Seth double stomped him, and he made his return in the main event of Raw at Madison Square Garden. It was a steel cage match with Seth Rowans versus CM Punk. One final beat. I'm just kidding. It wasn't actually one final beat. They just love to call the blow off of feuds. That Tommaso and Gargano rings a bell for me. But anyway,
ironic because that was not
one final beat.
No.
But Roman Reigns came back and he got involved by pulling Seth Rollins out of the match by the back of his neck, and Rollins got pulled out of the cage and his feet hit the floor, and Seth Rollins beat CM Punk.
I hate that.
I get it.
Nope. I hate it. I get it. No. I hate it. I genuinely hate it. You have a blood feud, legitimately one of the best blood feuds in wrestling right now, of how much Seth Rollins and CM Punk fucking despise each other. And you say, we're going to have your blow-off match at Madison Square Garden, like the arena that is literally synonymous with this company at this point, in a cage to main event Raw on Netflix. And yet you made the rules pinfall submissions or escape cage? Why escape cage? Because here's the thing. Throughout the whole match, I don't know if you noticed this, but I loved this little part, is every now and then, one of them would yell to the ref to get the door open, and they just dare the other person to run through it. And they'd be like, go, you fucking coward. Do it. I dare you. Be a coward. Run through the door. Come on. Do it. And neither of them would budge. And I love that. But if you're going to have a blow-off match like this to a gigantic feud, you could have taken that away. The fact that it was in there meant that there were shenanigans afoot. And there were the shenanigans. And Roman... We're getting that triple threat, aren't we?
I was really hoping we weren't.
I was really hoping we weren't. We're getting that triple threat, aren't we?
I think we are. And here's the problem. Here's another thing I noticed before I go on about steel cage matches. The last couple steel cage matches they did not have escape the cage as a finish. They got rid of that. I know you didn't directly say it, so I just wanted to set the stage there. They got rid of that as a win condition. Until this match, they conveniently brought it back. Yeah. Plot armor. So, that being said... Oh. It looks like we have a guest.
Speaking of Roman...
What a run-in.
Where's Emil? I'm dead. So, let's break the fourth wall here. Now that you're wondering why this guy...
I just had a crash out.
So, we started the pod... First off, we're set to record at 5:30 p.m.
It is.
We're a half hour in, and it's only 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock p.m. Oh. Now, we did have 15 minutes of this pod recorded. However, this guy's internet was poop. So
no, my Windows computer was poop. We're not doing that because my internet's fine on my MacBook. We're not doing that.
Was it now?
It was. And I'm too lazy now to go plug in my interface again. So you're getting AirPods out of me today.
My dog. My
dog.
You froze. No, you froze.
Oh, there's like mad people in my house right now.
Ah, you froze. He said my internet's not bad.
There's a lot of people in the house right now.
Well, Tim, it's a good thing
Um,
you're here. We're talking about Roman. Where's Roman? We found Roman.
Oh, he
He's
he,
Roman.
he came
oh
back.
man,
He just did a run in.
I
He, thank you, Tim. Yes, he did.
yeah, man.
I
Lord,
just had a
We
whole
were just
crash
talking about how
out.
much I hate. Yeah, you did. We were talking
yes,
about.
you did.
You missed it. I was just talking about how much I hate steel cage matches.
I think his
Oh,
internet
he's
is
gone.
worse on his
This
Mac.
guy's yeah. We're keeping all this in. Oh,
At this point, yeah, we're
we're
keeping
keeping
it in.
all this in. Welcome to
No, just keep
Welcome
going.
to Kickout Club Wrestling Podcast.
anyway. So Roman comes back. They bring back the shenanigans of escaping cage. Roman brings Seth
Convenient.
out. Yeah, convenient. Roman kills Seth. And then Roman looks over to what was my question of the night. When the fuck did Paul Heyman get in the ring?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where did Paul come from?
When did this man show up?
Rollins comes out. Punk comes out. Not with Paul. Right? Not with Paul. And I assumed as such because I had seen a clip of Roman running in before I'd actually watched the match. And then I see the whole thing about like Paul comforting Punk. And I go, oh, Paul walked out with CM Punk? That's interesting. And then I watched the match and I go, wait, where is Heyman? What the fuck? What do you mean he's not there?
Yeah.
And then, everything happens and Roman starts murder. And then Adam Pearce and Jason Jordan, Jamie Noble, all the producers and refs and everything, separate the two, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman's in the cage with Punk, like, are you okay, my son? Are you good? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? And then Roman looks over and sees Paul comforting Punk and goes, what's he doing with my wise man? It's my wise man. And then he kills Punk. And now we're going to get a triple threat. And I'm really fucking annoyed.
Here's the problem. Here is the problem. The problem is they're trying to tell more than one story for all three guys.
Yeah.
The story of this should have been, first off, the problem is they don't have a story made for Punk and Roman. They have a story for Punk and Rollins.
And
they have a story for Rollins and Roman. They
no,
don't
it's
have
not that
a
they don't have a story for Rollins and Roman. The whole company
do.
is no. The whole company revolves around the story of Rollins and Roman.
I'd argue that story is bigger than Seth and Punk at this point.
It's literally the biggest story in wrestling.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
And
literally the biggest, like professional wrestling as we know it right now. Would
not have happened if their careers did not go the way it did.
Fucking hit him with a chair 10 years ago.
Did anybody see the Paul Heyman thing for 2K? Did I send that to this chat?
To
I don't
2K?
think
No,
so.
what are you talking about?
He does like a little. I think there's a part of the game. So spoiler. And where he talks about the Roman and Seth of it all. And in that video package, there is no third member of that Shield unit.
I wonder if that was for the hype pack. Like if that's, I'm assuming that's part of the showcase mode. And if it is, it's probably the Rumble match that they did for the title.
Yes, that's what it leads to. But the whole package kind of encapsulates what this means for the entire company and what the entire direction of the company is. It's very funny though that they cut out the third member.
I'm surprised they didn't just blur his face.
No, they cut him completely. Like all those
That's
shots
crazy.
are tight. It's nasty. It's nasty work.
That is nasty work. I mean, I get they couldn't just say, "Oh, it's about Roman and Seth," but like, come on, we know there's a third guy there. You don't have to hide it. But it's wild. It's wild, and that's the problem though, because they have these stories, but they had to make a story and force a story between Roman and Punk. But the only story they had was that they teamed together. And wow, they're both Paul Heyman guys. That's cool. It's like to me, it's giving the end of Batman v Superman, where they're fighting the whole movie, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, your mom died too. Your mom's named Martha too. I guess we don't have to fight anymore." Like it's that, but the opposite. Like, oh,
Thank you for reminding me of one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
You're welcome. But it's basically
Stop. This isn't a superhero podcast, but I will derail this whole podcast if we keep trashing this movie.
Damn, derail it with more trash takes, just like with wrestling. Come on, man, that's crazy. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
That's
the storyline that we feud. We're in the feud here.
Oh.
the
I'm
Seth
just kidding.
Rowan
I'm
thing.
joking. Come on.
The Martha line was bad, but
We know.
the movie isn't. But the movie is not. I'm not
It
doing
was
this with
fine.
you guys.
Yeah. Anyway,
Eh.
Almost a 10.
It is 7. Anyway, Seth Roman is the feud, right? It should be.
It should be the one-on-one.
It should be the one-on-one because realistically, Punk doesn't need this, and they don't need Punk. Like, I get the Paul Heyman. What now? Hold on.
No, I agree.
Okay. I was like, you're disagreeing with this?
No, I agree with you, and I was gonna say this, and I'll make it quick. Punk's been cutting promos on Cena and Rock and Cody.
I am my own heat with that.
No, that should be the story.
Yeah.
No, that's messy.
No, it's not.
Either way, it's messy.
No.
Either way, it's messy.
All right. Let me do this. All right, let me do this.
Get shit off.
If you're gonna focus on a major feud going into WrestleMania between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk, you take Punk out of the equation because the feud should be Seth Roman. Why? Because I don't know, 10 years, 11 years of history. The entire catalyst of professional wrestling as we know it is literally based on the fact that Seth hit him with a chair 11 years ago and caused everything to happen. Oh, right. Seth is a big part of why Roman doesn't have a title anymore. That should be the story. It should be Roman going, I am going to finish you once and for all and get my revenge. And if we're talking about things that happened 10, 11 years ago, here's what we do with Punk. We have Punk come back and go, remember what I said 10 years ago? The fact that Dwayne's in the main event in WrestleMania and I'm not makes me sick. You bald frauds.
And also, I was right about John Cena.
And he was right. Okay.
Time out.
Okay.
So then why was Roman trying to send Sammy to recruit him on his team like 2 months ago?
Did he send Sammy to recruit him?
He did.
Oh,
kind of.
Seth, right?
Yeah, to recruit Seth.
Probably because real recognize real. Like he sees.
No. We're not gonna break that now. So all of a sudden now Roman wants to take him out for taking out the title, but he didn't care for the last year.
No. Roman.
This realistically is going to be because
Roman got his moment. Roman got. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I was gonna say Roman got his catharsis. He hit Seth with the chair, and he realized that was the fatal flaw. And at this point, he was like, "Fuck." Well, I clearly getting my leg up and getting my revenge cost me my title reign. Maybe we just bury the hatchet and move on.
So why didn't he go right for Seth then? Why did he go for the bloodline? Because he didn't care that much. He already got his hit in.
What do you mean? Oh,
he got his lick. He got his lick back.
Yeah,
technically he's gotten his lick back like 3 times.
Yeah, and then he lost the title the last time he did it. So he was like, "Oh fuck!" I feel like Roman's starting to realize now, like, I have more things to worry about than just Seth. He's like he's gotten through that.
So he's like so now he can go.
He's trying.
He can revert to go back. I'm lost.
I'm
make
lost
that make sense.
Too.
No, I was gonna say make that logic.
No. My logic makes sense in my head. That chair shot at WrestleMania 40, Roman. That was Roman's That was
his lick back, right?
That was his lick back, and that was it. Then from there, Roman was trying to recruit Seth on his team because he's like, "Hey, listen, I see that you're like I see you. We're the one like Seth is the 1C in a way. Not to make things more confusing in that 1A, 1B, 1C type thing. But he sees that Seth is a top guy. He knows that he's a top guy himself, and he knows that him and Seth together would be better than him and Seth separately. And when it comes to fighting off the bloodline, and the priority is making sure he gets his Ufalafa. That was the priority.
So now he got that, and now he's like, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
Because Seth said.
And also because Seth said "fuck you" at Royal Rumble because he snapped because he had a crash out.
Well, because think
Seth.
about it, Roman gets the falafel back, right? He gets the falafel, and he goes, "All right, that's step 1. Step 2 is getting my title back." But to get his title back, he's got to do something like win the Rumble or something. So he tries the Rumble, fails, and then Seth just goes, "Ooh, bye-bye." And so Roman, because he is then out with medical jargon for 2 months, doesn't do the chamber. Because he doesn't do the chamber, he loses his other shot at getting back what's his, or what he claims to be his, the world title. So now he sees Seth and goes, "Why are you still doing this to me? What did I do to you? Besides, ruin your life. What did I do?" Punk doesn't need to be a part of this.
Seth was the one that turned.
Yeah, Punk doesn't need to be a part of any of this. The fact that
Correct.
Punk is only here now because Roman went, "Why are you with my wise man? That's my wise man. Roman. He literally went up to Punk and hugged him and said all these things of, I have missed you, blah, 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 blah. I owe you a favor, blah, 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 after you guys won at War Games. Where was that? Where was that? If we're gonna fucking talk about this, we're, you know? I don't know.
Here's the thing, too. Punk was cutting promos about Cena and Rock and being like, hey, I was right about those guys. Those guys right there, I was right. I was right. All the shit I said all that time ago, I was right about it. We could have treated Rollins and Punk in the cage as the last match between the two of them and been like, all right, bet. I'm over Seth. Seth, you got a new problem now. Go deal with Roman. Because that was the whole point of Seth and Punk as a story also. Punk wanted no part of it. Punk wanted to get away from it. And Seth kept antagonizing. And he's like, all right, well, I guess if I'm not getting where I want to be and you're still gnawing at my ankle like a chihuahua, then I'm just going to kick you away. And that was him beating Seth. And now at that point, Seth has a new problem in Roman interfering and getting him the win. And Punk's like, listen, fuck it. I lost, but hey, Seth, you got a new problem. I'm out. I'm going for the title I said I was going for like 4 months ago. And
So
then
sorry.
no, you're good. Sorry, I took a pause. Then Paul Heyman's right there with the favor. Do I know how Paul Heyman uses his influence to get Punk in the title match? No, I really don't. Does it make sense? No. But listen, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? It's Paul Heyman. He's a Hall of Famer. He's been in the business. He's a producer backstage. If they want to play,
Allegedly.
they play on some shit. Paul Heyman allegedly is also advising and coaching Braun Breaker, so also wouldn't surprise me. Listen, this is the chance. That was the chance they had, and they decided to go with this triple threat instead.
So this is how I feel right now.
That's not how you feel, because this audience of the pod, this draft of the episode didn't hear your Jey Uso thoughts, because that's not how you feel about Jey Uso.
No, everything is fine, right? Everything's not fine. Everything's not fine. Bullet Club is not fine. We're
Bullet Club ain't been fine.
Bullet Club was never fine after about 2017.
Judgment Day's
No.
fine. They got
Judgment Day is
Judgment
not
Day is
fine.
not fine.
They got 2 title shots next week. They riding high.
Wow, they're gonna lose both of them.
Yeah, they are.
Lol.
Lols.
All right, so I guess that's a nice way to kind of get me to crash out again. So
I was gonna say, we did already talk about Gunther and Jey, but let's hear your side.
I don't care about this story. I'm so tapped out of their actual story. Tyler gave a great version of what could have happened, but they didn't decide to go that way either. If we didn't plug that already on this new version of this week's pod.
We did, but that's okay.
Tyler gave a better version of what this could have been, but it's not that either. So here's the take. But first we have to go back. I'm going to try to do this the way I did this before. So in wrestling, right, we have the jobbers, the low mid card, the Otises of the world. He's over though. That's not a knock. That's just where he's at. The actual mid card, the guys who can flip between the mid card and the main event, and then we have the main event, right? That makes sense. Cool. All right. Now we have this concept of the super main eventer, and I'm still working this one out. But the super main eventer to me is a Roman character, right? Let's look at Roman when he was champion, right? A super main eventer. He's clearly the main event, but as soon as you introduce Rollins, right, as the main event with the world title, we have this weird power dynamic where we can't bury the world title, which I don't think in this concept it's buried. Does anyone think it's buried? I don't think it's buried. But there's a clear distinction between the world title and the WWE title. And you see how close my hands are? Come here. Like that. We do visual gags here. It's a visual podcast. We don't just need them to look at our faces, right?
We are visual consumers here.
The first version of that was much better though. I don't know how to do it on a Mac. And so we have the super main eventer, Roman, who isn't there every week. Definitely doesn't wrestle on TV. And then shows up for like pay-per-views, PLEs. Can you not? You're freaking me out.
Come here.
No, go away. Right? Are we rolling? With? Can we at least kind of conceptualize the Superman event?
Sure.
I think as a podcast we kind of need to work on that because that's an interesting point, right?
I mean, they're a part-timer.
No, I don't want to do that.
That's basically what it is.
Yes, but it's not like a
It's a fancy
part-timer.
word. It's a fancy new word to call a part timer.
But it's not a part-timer
Brock
like
Lesnar is offended.
it's not maybe, but I wouldn't even say Brock Lesnar was this kind of caliber of a main eventer, right? Like where it's like these guys who break
He was
the
around
trend.
even less.
I would say like the guys who break the trend of wrestling entirely, right? Roman, Rock, Cena, Cody is in there right now. Like as I think the WWE champion, you kind of turn into that. And then if you go and do something else, like right now, Roman is not this super main eventer. Roman's just a regular main eventer, which is fine. That's not bearing Roman. That's just where he's at right now. So now that we understand each other, sort of, sit on that one, sleep on it, marinate it, because not all of us have this answer. But what we do have the answer for is the fact that Jey Uso winning the Rumble was the wrong move. Okay, let's work with me then. So right now we have this upper echelon of main eventers who are definitely not going for Cody's title, right? So they're not hitting that super main event level. That would be all the people that I've been talking about for the last month, who I keep saying are getting stranded.
Drew, Damian, Finn, in a way,
So
depending on how you look at him.
for instance, right now Drew and Damian could both be doing something better. Yes, this feud has no title in it. This could be a cool world title match, but neither of them have it. Okay, cool. Roman and Seth don't have a title. Fine, it's a grudge match. It's not the grudge match we thought we were getting, but it's a grudge match, I guess. Again, this one to me feels like this overcooked in a slow cooker. It felt like we could have kind of like sped this up. Like I don't think to me this didn't have to be a WrestleMania match, especially with the third guy not being there, right? Like, and the third guy for whatever they want to cut out of video packages for 2K is important to the story there. We don't know because we just may not know. But to me, they put that one in the slow cook and let it overcook. Right? Cool. I think we can at least find a middle ground of agreeing on that. Then we have Logan Paul. Logan Paul has been significantly rising his stock for the last year. Right? He's gotten a world title match. He's been in a Money in the Bank match, which he could have won. He had a chance, not a big chance, but he had a chance. SummerSlam was in his hometown. There was a chance for him to lose his title and get a world title out of it. There was a chance. He had a big marquee match with LA Knight where he lost his United States title, right? So he could have went up there. Now we're also treating Logan as this full-time main eventer by bringing him in on this new contract that I believe he has right now, right? Where he's there every week. He's starting to cut promos with main event guys. He was just the last 3 in the Royal Rumble. He was number 30 in the Royal Rumble. He was the last 4 in Elimination Chamber, and the other 3 being CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Cena. So, like, he's in there with good company right now. So, to me, him going for this AJ Styles match is a drop in stock. That's not a knock to AJ Styles. That's just the unfortunate reality of it. I think AJ gets more stock out of this match, out of a Logan Paul thing, than Logan Paul does with AJ, personally.
Are you accepting replies at this time?
I'll accept a reply to that.
I just want to make sure you're not. Are you done explaining? Because I don't want to start to poke at things if you don't have it fully fleshed out yet.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not. But
Okay.
but
I'll let you. No, you're
All
good.
right.
I don't want to derail. I want to hear the full.
All
thing.
right. So then right now that means who's left? Who technically doesn't have anything left, right? Because CM Punk is trying to get out of this Seth Rollins storyline. He's already been gone out of the Drew storyline. Where he's been poking around with Cody, and this Rock storyline and this Cena storyline. However, we're starting to get messy. The goal for CM Punk, the character and the human being, is to get this WrestleMania main event, right? That's his goal. Okay, I'm rolling, but we didn't go that direction. We went with Rock again, and we decided to do the biggest heel turn of the generation. Okay. So now we have Punk trying to force his way in a Daniel Bryan in a WrestleMania 40 rerun, right? That's kind of what everybody's starting to predict is going to go on, right? Because we're trying to be intelligent wrestling fans, and Triple H is probably going to pull the rug out from us at some point. Which, if he pulls the rug out from under us completely, then what? Everybody's taken now, so Punk kind of has to be there. And to me, that's a super messy move. When we could have just went with CM Punk and Gunther, which may be a snooze fest, but it gets Punk his world title. It gets Punk a main event match. He can get his little buy one get one comment to age poorly, which is fine. Jey Uso could have went for the Intercontinental title, which I think is more interesting because Jey Uso didn't get, which may be a snooze fest for you, but to me, Jey Uso didn't get his rematch, which I guess we don't do rematches anymore, which is fine. We kind of went over this before. But I think Jey Uso is not a big enough attraction for a world title match. I don't. Because if we're making this world title right up there, right? We're trying to make this world title as important as the WWE title. Am I wrong? Answer that question. Just that question.
No comment.
No.
Could you
Don't
please
back off.
repeat the question?
The question is the world title is supposed to be on par with the WWE title, right?
Correct.
Well, yeah, they're both world titles, so.
All right, but we've already gone for this theory of the super main eventer theory, right? So
Sure.
so Tyler, I know you want to kind of call me a hypocrite because I just talked about the super
No,
mid-card.
I'm still shocked that you don't think Jay is at that caliber because that is insane.
I don't think so. Especially when you have this many good main eventers without something to do.
Wait, you're telling me these main eventers don't need the title? That's crazy.
You're telling me at what is supposed to be our biggest show of the year, right? That our biggest main eventers aren't in the biggest matches possible? That's what you're telling me?
I think the biggest two wrestlers are in the biggest match right now, Cody and Cena.
Okay, there's your super main eventers. So the world title is right under your super main eventers, right?
And I think that
I don't think Jey Uso is a big stop.
Wait.
I don't think Jey Uso is a bigger force in a main event scene than a CM Punk, than a Drew McIntyre, and I've had my own complaints with Drew McIntyre, than a Damian Priest, than a Logan Paul, which is interesting.
Can I ask you a rebuttal question?
Go ahead.
I have two scenarios for you, and I need you to tell me what one sounds more attractive to you. Okay? So, scenario one. Reigns, Rollins, Punk, triple threat for the World Heavyweight title, and Jey Uso versus Gunther, non-title. Or Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title, and Seth, Roman, and Punk for without the title.
I don't want to see Gunther and Jey without a title at all.
Exactly, but that's what we have. So I'm presenting the options that we have. We have two matches, Jey and Gunther.
That's not a fair question.
Yes, it is. This is fully acknowledging the context of today's wrestling. Thank you. The full context is that we have two matches on the table, Gunther and Jey, and the triple threat. And if the world title is going to be on one of those matches, I'm going to say Jey versus Gunther because it'll make me care more about it, and because the triple threat could have the title, but I'm just as excited about it without the title.
Yusuf?
The idea of the world title match, Jey Gunther, is to establish Jey as that tier of main eventer.
I understand that. I'm watching the story. I'm watching the product.
Let me quote something that I drafted up in my booking, and I know you've heard it, Emil, but I just need to say it for the record. Gunther said in the first week of the build to this actual story in real life that I'm trying to build my legacy, and beating Cody, beating Cena, beating Punk, beating Roman, all would add something to my legacy, but beating you adds nothing. Now let me say something that I propose that Jey should say in a hypothetical promo with Gunther. Maybe it's not about building your legacy, Gunther. It's about building mine. And it starts by beating you for the world title at WrestleMania.
I understand the concept of the feel-good story.
Let me also, sorry, I hate to steamroll. However, I have another thing. What's one thing that you have viciously stood by throughout the lifespan of this new era in our podcast? I'll tell you what. That Jey Uso is not a good wrestler in the ring. What is Gunther all about? Being a damn fucking good wrestler.
Yes, I understand. I'm watching the product. They're telling me all these things in my face. I understand that. And they're literally telling me that he's going to win. I understand that. I just don't like it. I just don't need it. I just don't think it's the biggest thing they could have done. And this is supposed to be WrestleMania, right? This isn't SummerSlam. This isn't whatever other 2-night extravaganza they want to start making. This isn't Royal Rumble where they start putting it in stadiums. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what the optics look like that everything wants to be WrestleMania now. I don't care. It's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Main event by Cody.
This was the biggest world title match they could have done. Answer the question seriously. No.
It's not, but the problem is,
Thank you.
It's not.
Thank you.
However, no, it's not proving your point, because that's acknowledging a problem, but that's not the problem.
So WrestleMania is equal to any other show that they do in a stadium now, right?
No.
That's what we're saying.
No, that's not what I'm
Because
saying.
we could put this in any other stadium show.
We
did put this on Saturday night's main event. We're choosing to forget about it.
Shouldn't have done it. Anyway, that's when Punk should have got his match.
Because both of us do agree with that.
Agreed. Yeah. No, we agree on a lot of things, but it's just like, I think that you think about it in a very box way, like a very boxed in way.
How? When I literally say all the reasons why the thing doesn't make sense to me. How am I boxed in? I don't like this concept that you keep telling me I'm boxed in.
Saying the world title needs to be in the best match every pay-per-view is extremely limiting.
No.
That's what you're telling me.
That's not what I said. I'm specifically building for WrestleMania with the world title, which is supposed to be the 1.5 title, right?
But say going into WrestleMania, the person the two people involved that would be the best options for the championship neither of them hold the title. Do you hotshot it to them because it's going to be the best match at WrestleMania? No, because that would be a bad story. You work with the story you have.
So there's either two options here because of this, right? So we either have two options, right? We can go with the option that I believe Jey shouldn't have won, and we could have put Jey in the Intercontinental title, and we could have put CM Punk in this match, where CM Punk then doesn't have to get messy with The Rock and Cena, right? And we can still get the Cena heel turn. Or you're gonna hate this option more, I think, is we don't turn Cena heel. We don't turn Cena heel. We put fucking Cena over with Gunther, give Cena his free 17 for the feel good moment, and we have Cody and Roman, the trilogy.
No, I think I like that idea more.
The trilogy? I'm here for the trilogy.
No,
I'll agree with the trilogy, and Cody breaks our hearts. I'm here for that.
So. I'm gonna reiterate what Yusuf and I talked about real quick, and then I'll turn it over to you, Yusuf, because I want to tell you, you missed this part of the discussion because you had not made your run in yet. Gunther versus Jey.
The production truck fucked up.
Facts. And like I said in the chat, fuck, don't tell me I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, no. Gunther versus Jey has all the tools it needs to be a WrestleMania-worthy story. The problem is they're not doing it. They're not doing what they should be doing to build the story up. For some reason, they're doing everything wrong with this story. If they did everything right, they would have a Mania main event. They're not. They're not setting it up that way.
So the real take in the group chat, I'm sorry, Yusuf. So the real take in the group chat that I said is that Jey Uso is ruining everything. Not that Jey Uso, not some of the other wild shit that I'm saying right now. Right? The real take is that Jey Uso winning the Rumble is ruining everything else. Which I do believe.
I mean, that's fair. In my opinion, looking at it just like with the perspective
look at it with what we have. It's like
looking at it with what we have, I think Jey versus Gunther would be the match. I think the problem is that they're booking it wrong, and I think that Punk being in the I don't think Jey ruins anything. I think Jey versus Gunther could happen, and the other top matches on the card would still be just as good. I don't think that one person is the stem of all the issues.
No, but one person does take another person out of the equation entirely. When there's a bunch of good main eventers that could have went with him.
I mean, you could have Jey, like I said in the chat, you can have Jey versus Gunther, and you can make the other two matches better, the top two matches, by, in my opinion, Punk, Cena, Cody, because Cody being the babyface of today, Cena being the big bad heel, and Punk playing the tweener role and saying, fuck you both suck, I want to be champion. I'm the main event. However, Cody versus Cena is still a good story. I'm not saying it's not a good story. And then you get Roman Seth.
I think we just don't want to boggle down the biggest generational heel turn, which is already turning into a 1B situation because he's not there. I don't know if you guys talked about this earlier. He's not there. We haven't seen him yet, and Cody's out here just cutting promos for nothing. Like, we're wasting time right now, and this is not the time to waste time and let things cook. Like, this is the time to start.
I'll save my opinion for when we talk about that a little.
40 minutes. We're 40 days away. Pick up the pace, y'all.
Yeah, I'll wait till we dive deeper into that to respond.
And we're boggling it down already with The Rock, so we're boggling it down more by throwing a third member in here just so Cody doesn't have to like black suit Cody if we're not going to heal him, right? Like, what you see how I'm getting messier? because we've taken Gunther out of the equation because we wanted to give him to Jey Uso, which we've already done like twice, actually 3 times, because Jey Uso right now hasn't beaten Gunther like in the last year, and 2 of them were title matches. One for the IC title, if we haven't talked about that on air before. So, like, you see what I'm saying here? Like, we did this already. I've done this already with Jey and Gunther. We're done here. We're cooked. And now we've done whatever story we're done, so now we're really cooked. So now Jay's gonna win, whatever, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, cool. Because it is what it is. Like, we're stuck. And I don't like that. Yusuf?
WrestleMania is never a place where avenues close.
And that's also frustrating when you want to make this called the biggest show of the year. I'm sorry.
No.
Yusuf's never gonna be able to get his shit off.
No. It's fine. You know what's funny is we're at an hour, and when we stopped talking about Jey and Gunther the first time, we were 23 minutes into this show.
And then Tim showed up.
And then Tim appeared.
Say Jay's name and Emil appears. He doesn't believe in Jey Uso. He doesn't believe
God we
in
did it.
Jey Uso.
I don't want to get any more out that I already have earlier in the show, but I do want to say this, that WrestleMania doesn't always have to be... Well, WrestleMania is not only where things come to a close, right? A new chapter opens after that. What's the old Bray Wyatt? You know, as one circle closes, another begins again, right? We're gonna get the close on this Jey Uso Gunther thing. Are we gonna be happy about it? Some people aren't. That's fine, right? And yeah, it has definitely, you know, Jey Uso being the guy that they picked to win the Rumble and do this is a choice. I said this earlier. It's definitely a choice, but the payoff will be assuming when he wins. My whole thing is that it's been boring going up, and I don't even think he's winning anymore. But let's pay off. That's the closing of the circle. The opening of that circle is you now have world champion Jey Uso, post-Mania, going, if I can beat Gunther, I think I can beat anybody now. You know, I think I'm a proper main eventer. Yeet. I got what it takes. Yeet. Blah, 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 blah. Yeet. Oh, shit. Thank you. And then, that is when we start utilizing the other main event guys we have. Because here's the problem, right? With a show like WrestleMania. Yes, we have all these main event guys. It's the same problem I see over in AEW. We have all these great guys that could be champ, that should be in this match for a world title. We have all these guys that could be in a main event spot at WrestleMania. There's only 2. There's no, you remember back in the day when they used to go, oh, in the co-main event of the show, but they're like third last on the card. No, the main event is the main event.
5 main events.
No, the main event is and always will be the last show, the last match on the card. We only have 2 of those at WrestleMania, night 1, night 2. Jey Uso, they believe in him enough to give him the first one. Hopefully. Thank you. And we just kind of got to roll with it. I know it's frustrating. It definitely is, and I understand part of where you're coming from with this. But the payoff...
What if it's not? Sorry.
That would suck.
That would suck.
If they did all of this just to not put Jey over,
if
and
they
just
did
keep Gunther as champion, what would be the point in keeping the title on Gunther?
No, what if he wins, but what if it's not last?
Oh, I think it's going to either open or close night 1.
Yeah. Oh,
Opening night 1 is crazy.
I think it's gonna either.
I don't
close,
think so.
I think it's gonna close night 1 or open night 2. They might do another 2 world titles on the same show again.
It could be a thing of, starting and ending being the opposite. You know how they always do those recap videos after the show, and it's always a big deal. I feel like when they do those, very first thing that happens in WrestleMania is the high of the night, right? Jey wins. The low of the whole show is the end of night 2. Cena beats Cody.
Cena murders Cody and publicly executes him in front of everyone in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not if we get this triple threat.
It still could happen.
I want that triple threat so badly. Oh, I want it so badly.
But I also think it's better than what we have currently.
Well, here's the thing, right? And this is I want to get out of the Jey Uso thing. Having, like, superhero Cody against heel Cena makes the most sense now when you think about it. Because what other big bad guy could you have to face Cody in the main event of Mania? There were none left except Roman. Realistically speaking, what, Tim?
Or you could have just done the big face match and have Cody break our hearts at the end of the night.
You could have.
That also was a layup as well.
That was the option. That was it.
I know it was,
But
and I was
also,
hoping for that option.
I can't believe they didn't do what you wanted them to do, and it's wrong because they didn't. That's crazy. Cena heel turn, come on, it was great. It's fucking generational.
I wanted them.
But what
to
does it do by the end of the year?
Solidifies Cody as an even bigger babyface than he already was.
Oh yeah.
I know you don't like it. Wah, cry more.
He's already a big babyface. Who cares?
It's the biggest face of the last generation, putting over the face of this one.
He's already done that.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't put over Cody.
No.
Not in a match.
Verbally, yeah. Not in a match. You just gotta solidify it one way or another.
Well, technically,
Hogan
he
booking
did,
all over
he held him on his shoulders.
Well,
Let's talk
That
about the
doesn't
real
count,
reason
though.
why we've been arguing about everything this fucking show.
Rogan.
Dwayne the fucking Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Fuck this dude.
The Rock ruins everything.
It was there, bro. Cody and
that.
Rock was
I like
there.
that. I like that. Tim's whole thing is Jey Uso put us out of mind. No. You're looking at the wrong family member. It's
You're damn
Dwayne.
right.
Well, no. The storyline booking is Jey Uso winning.
I still blame Dwayne.
That's
this
a
is
cop-out
Dwayne's
take.
fault. This
That's
is
a cop-out
all
take.
Fucking Dwayne's
If they
fault,
didn't
man.
do this, you would be like, man, they're not doing what they should with Jey Uso. Listen to those reactions, man. The crowd loves him. And I know that because I know you don't like Jey Uso in the ring, but you recognize when there's a big pop for somebody.
Oh, real recognizes real, absolutely. I could also say real can go over to the IC title with them.
Yeah, and that's fucking lame. That's what it is.
That's not lame. That's hype.
Yes,
Because
no,
guess
they're
what? Guess what? Because Jey Uso's star power brings up the whole thing. Because who
Braun
holds the
Breaker's
IC title
already-
right now? Do we remember?
Braun.
Oh yeah. And where's he?
A
Is he
big
even on the
star.
card right now?
No, he's gonna
Okay,
be though.
just making sure.
Bro, we're like 5 weeks out. We have so much time. And he's
This
about
is
to defend,
is pressure cooker time.
and he's
Speed
about
this shit up.
and he's about to defend the title against Finn. So I think either we figure out what happens at Mania or we have a new champion going in. I don't know which.
Finn is
I
not
hope
going
not.
into WrestleMania.
I
as
hope
IC
not.
champion.
I hope
not.
I hope not. But also, he's been
'Cause
losing
what is
a
that
lot.
doing?
What if he turns it around and wins? Because they've teased a new member of Judgment Day. What if the new member comes in and helps Finn win?
AJ?
No.
Then what's
What
the
if
point?
What if it's Aleister Black?
That's fun.
Low key?
For what?
I don't know.
To do what?
I'm thinking of people that
With
need
4
something
weeks
to
of booking.
do. I know, dude. I know. I'm trying to.
We could have done that 3 weeks ago.
But then in the long run, you have Aleister Black overthrow the leader, and he takes over Judgment.
He's not coming till
and it becomes
till Raw
gothic
after.
again.
He's not coming till the
No,
Raw
I know.
after.
I'm totally clowning. But man, the problem is The Rock. Man, The Rock ruined everything. You had the matches there. Cody and Rock. Cena could have had Gunther, or you could have done Cena Punk just for the fuck of it. Why not? You could have done Seth Roman. You could have done Drew Roman. You could have done Drew Cena.
You could have done a trilogy.
You could have done
You
Drew
could have done a
Punk.
trilogy. Yeah.
You could have done so many different things. And the problem is Dwayne decided, I'm not going to wrestle WrestleMania this year. That's what happened.
Psych.
And that's frustrating. He's not wrestling this year.
No.
Maybe SummerSlam.
Oh,
He
too
can't
little,
beat,
too goddamn late.
Cody can't beat, or Cody beats The Rock's stooge, John Cena, or yeah, beats John Cena.
Wow.
Imagine.
Wow, what a waste.
We're not going to turn Cena heel for just that.
We're not turning. We're not.
My
turning
point is-
the greatest
unless
babyface
it's
of all
all
time.
unless it's all a ploy, and they double flip them.
Yeah.
I've seen that around. I don't love it. It's messier than where we're already at. But
Yeah, it is. But that's the problem. We wouldn't be in this mess if they weren't like worrying about what The Rock's going to do. That's part of the problem because if the reports are correct, and it sure as hell feels that way given what we're getting, it feels like they spent the entire fall building to a scenario where The Rock will be wrestling at WrestleMania. And then at the last second, he probably strung him along and was like, yeah, I'll wrestle. And then at the last second, he's like, actually, you know what? Nah, I'm good. And they're like, fuck, now what do we do?
so then they actually did build and have options.
Yeah.
They've from Bad Blood onward, they had options without Rock because we decided not to mention that.
But the options kind of sucked.
The options weren't the greatest.
They weren't
They
the
also
worst
weren't
either.
terrible.
No.
They also weren't terrible, and they were at least somewhat logical. Right now, we're kind of just messy.
Could have also had Cody Seth.
This feels like WrestleMania 16.
Hey, you know what? WrestleMania 16. Oh wait, no, never mind. I was thinking of 17. I was gonna say WrestleMania 16 turned out to be one of the best of all time. That is the opposite of true.
Try again.
It was X7 that was the best.
There you go. You know where WrestleMania 16 took place?
No.
Anaheim.
Oh.
What is the relevance?
What
of
is the
that?
relevancy of it taking place in Anaheim?
What a fucking clown.
I thought it was Philly, but I think that was the year before.
So we're
I was
talking
gonna
a whole
say,
lot.
like, was it Philly? No.
We're talking a lot about Cody Rhodes. And there's a debate to be had of whether or not what he's doing right now in building this feud with the heel John Cena is productive. He's cut 2 promos between SmackDown and then this week's Raw, where he basically said the same thing. Wah wah, Cena turned on me. Wah wah, he joined The Rock. Wah wah, something something, adrenaline in my soul, Cody Rhodes. He said the only line that's really memorable from any of this is saying, "John, I'm the captain now."
Well,
Channeling his Cody Raheem side, if you know what I mean.
So
Yes,
so Cody decided to go, hey, did y'all watch SmackDown? No, because I didn't either. So here it is again. You want to
Yeah,
see me
exactly.
do it again?
Cody
You
was
want to
like-
see me do it again?
Did you watch SmackDown? You wanna see me do it again? No, the reason why is because they had a show at MSG and they were like, "Oh fuck, we need Cody at this show. What do we have him do? Talk about John Cena. We
I'll
just
be
did
honest.
that on Friday. That's fine. Okay.
Do you want to see me do it again?
You-
I just
do you
keep
wanna
coming
see
back
him
to
do it
that.
again?
They said John's not here for the MSG show. Ah, shit. Where's Cody?
Because here's the problem that they have right now. SmackDown is so bad, Cody needs to be there. But also,
Facts.
Raw was at MSG, and Cody needed to be there.
And it was kind of bad.
Because he could have cut that promo once. He could have cut one of those promos. I prefer the MSG promo where he said, "I'm the captain now." And I think that was the one where he said, "I'm the captain now." And whatever one he said, "I'm the captain now," was the promo he should have cut and not cut the other one. That's my opinion. I think it was fine that Cody cut a promo. I just think the fact that he cut it twice in a row in the same 5-day span is really annoying.
Thanks, Dwayne. I
Yeah.
agree. I
Thanks,
didn't
Dwayne.
see the point. I think this is where I started. So this is where I came up with which is why I came up with the super main eventer theory. This is why this watching this promo, I was like, first off, I'm in Groundhog State, and this promo is what gave me the super main eventer theory.
And here's the thing too: if Cena's not ready, fuck it, pick a random heel. Have Cody start to cut this promo, and then have the classic like heel come out. Have Solo come out. You had Solo attack Cody for why? I know it sucks, but at least we're doing something more productive with him than cutting the same promo twice. Okay,
Is that productive? Is Solo productive?
no, for
Okay.
Cody. I'm talking about for Cody.
Is that productive for Cody?
It's more productive than cutting the same promo
It's doing
twice.
something, right? It's doing something other than Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Even though
Right.
him against Solo is Groundhog
Also
Day.
Groundhog Day.
Also Groundhog Day, but
Also Groundhog Day.
lesser Groundhog.
Less
Day.
Groundhog
This gives me anxiety.
I know. I'm trying here. I'm really trying to.
Well,
You're trying to find it. It's okay
Yeah.
to say Triple H is fumbling right now. It's okay.
He kind of is.
A little.
There are some stories he's doing very well, and some stories that he's not, and
No.
that's reality. That's
And
reality.
That's reality of the John Cena schedule, which was already shitty. So I mean, I guess this is the bad parts that we have to start talking about with the John Cena heel turn. We haven't seen him in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Which is kind of a problem when it's the biggest generational heel turn. Hulk Hogan was on Nitro the next night, last I remember.
My problem with the heel turn,
And
which
he
is
used
a
to be The
wild
Rock.
statement to say, is had they gone the route of there being constant chatter while Cena wasn't here, I think it would make a little more sense. Now we're only like 2-3 weeks in, not even 2 weeks, almost 3. You know, John turns heel. It's the thing that gets everyone talking. And they kind of made it work on the Monday. Everyone's talking about it on Raw. Oh, John betrayed him like that. You know, AJ Styles is talking about it. Punk opens the show talking about it. You know, people are talking about the show. But it doesn't help after a while. And Cena not being here doesn't hurt it, but Cena not being here doesn't amplify it. And we need it to be amplified. Right?
Because how many weeks are we away from Mania? How many Raws do we have until WrestleMania?
At this point,
4?
4.
I hope not.
Let me check.
We're 5 weeks from WrestleMania.
We're 5 weeks away
I
from
counted.
WrestleMania, but that'd be 4 or 5 Raws.
Is it 4 Raws? Because Raw just happened this week.
It's
already.
4 Raws.
There's three international Raws that all start at 3 p.m. And then there's the last Raw before in Vegas. No way.
2 Raws.
There are
2
5
Raws
Raws
in the States.
There are 5 Raws left.
There are 3 in Europe,
3
2 in the States.
and 2 in the States.
Yeah, because the
one of
first
these
Raw
Raws in Chicago?
Yes,
No.
it is. April. Yeah, it is.
When?
April.
I did this for the video, and there are no Raws, as far as I understand it, between now and Mania that happened in 2025 in Chicago.
Really? Because I heard somewhere there was. Hold on.
I have Sacramento.
I guess that makes sense.
And Minneapolis.
I read somewhere that there was a Chicago show somewhere.
because the Raw before.
Minneapolis is the Raw after the European tour, and Sacramento is the go home.
Because
then they go to Vegas.
They drive to Vegas, which is probably like 6 hours away. Sorry, what was the point of doing this? Oh, we have 5 episodes.
Not being there.
So we have 5 episodes left, right? That's the goal. There is no Chicago episode. It doesn't matter. We have 5 episodes left here, guys, and this is to me not the time to slow cook. This is the reason why we slow cooked the whole year, to get to right here, to get to this moment, to get to these. I'll let the first week slide, but to get to these 6 Raws, right, before Mania, right? This is why you slow cook, so you can push. It's
so
like
would you say?
To me, this is a hurry up offense right now that you got to run, and they're not running a hurry up offense. They're feeling like Mania's in fucking September right now.
To me, this is part of the story. To me, the story is that Cody is the guy that's there week in, week out. He's carrying the company. He's the guy, and The Rock and Cena and Travis Scott are outsiders. They're celebrities. They're not about the love of the business anymore. They're about Hollywood. They're about making money. They're about more than just the wrestling ring. And Cody is the guy that will do it for the company and for the people of the company. And that's part of the story, that Cena doesn't need to be there every week to make the money he makes, to be as successful as he is as a heel. As a heel, that's your goal. The Rock's whole thing was I was the bad guy in the shadows kind of thing. I'm the guy on the top of the company. I'm only there once a month maybe, and make your life a living hell. And he was there for a couple weeks in a row. I know.
No.
But that's
No.
But also, I'm just saying, off of real life plans, Cena also had to shoot a movie. That's just like, that was part of the. That was part of it. WWE knew that was happening, I'm assuming, when they planned this.
For sure. So I guess my thing is, right, if you're going to do that, right, and like, that's cool, we can build that up. They should have started earlier then.
John Cena live via satellite?
They should have started that earlier then.
Yeah, why not?
To me, right? Because to me, if we look at last year and the last 5 weeks before Mania, Rock was there 4 out of 5, I want to say. He missed maybe one. One of them was a Rock concert. The other was the ring beatdown. The other one was the in-ring beatdown with Roman. And I think there was one.
The Cody slap. When Cody slapped Rock.
And there was the slap because he was on a SmackDown. So he was there 4 out of the 5 weeks leading up to Mania in that last 5 weeks. If you were going to cook this, you needed to cook this. You needed to cook this earlier.
Point taken.
We needed to, which I get. So Cena should have maybe been at like Survivor Series. Maybe he could have been the 5th guy.
Maybe he should have been working a full-time schedule up until the heel turn.
Yeah, but that was the point of the heel turn.
No, that was the point of the heel turn.
That was
which,
the point of
again, I'm okay with, but we could have.
What was the point of the heel turn? Because I'm not.
So
no.
It wasn't the point.
It was the
idea
optics,
of the heel turn, the optics,
where it was like it's right in our face.
Well, yeah, because
but it didn't need to be.
No, but Tim and I kind of brought this up when we were doing the bonus post-show reaction episode. Everything Cena was talking about in this Chris Van Vliet interview he did. Right? He's working less dates. He's not showing up to these things. He's doing business for himself. And he was doing this all in front of our faces, you know? Cena, after the Rumble, goes, I'm entering the Elimination Chamber. You can't stop me. And everyone goes, oh, okay. And we go, huh, cool. And then he just disappears, and we don't see him until the Chamber. And everyone goes, oh, where's John? Oh, weird. Okay, well, you know, he's John Cena. He can do whatever. Wabadoo. You know? And then he appears, and we go, hooray! And then everything happened, and we go, oh, no! And then everyone had the realization after that, oh, fuck.
I'll do all of that shit.
Right.
But if this was this I feel was the move and the plan, but they kind of wrote it with the assumption that Dwayne was going to be there. Then
Because
Dwayne
Dwayne was
wasn't there.
Plan A.
Then Dwayne wasn't there. Then Dwayne was there again. So they were like, all right, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
But except now, right? They're trying to use what they should have done and slow cooked this in Bad Blood. But because we decided not to make that canon until 2 weeks ago, we're still moving at the pace like this is like this brand new thing. And unfortunately for them, they have how many episodes left? We just said 5. So we don't have time for this.
Technically 10, not just 5. We have SmackDowns too, and Cody's been doing both.
Yeah, but nobody counts SmackDown.
We might have to going in the build.
We're gonna have to. Okay, so then we have what?
At most 10.
At most 10 episodes. Like we have
11,
no time
including
for
this Friday, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, we have no time for this.
No.
That's the thing for me. It's like this is, and again, like using the point of last year, Rock was here 4 out of 5 weeks, leading up to Mania last time, and this is the time where we kind of need them, right? This is you're supposed to run the hurry up at this point. This is where the story is supposed to be at its climax. You want to do all that slow shit. That's why we have October. Let it cook, let it breathe, let it sit, let us sit with it and think about it. That's why we all thought about Bad Blood. But we need to move, man. Like we're too slow right now for what we're supposed to be doing, especially if this is supposed to be WrestleMania, right? Again, I feel like I have to keep talking about this point of this is WrestleMania. This isn't SummerSlam. This isn't Backlash France. Like this is still WrestleMania. If they want me to believe that this is WrestleMania and not just some other big stadium show that they do, I need to feel like it's Mania. And there is a level of I feel like it's Mania with it being like the biggest story of John Cena turning heel, but we're not doing the thing.
I think
now they have 5 weeks to fix themselves, but we're in a hole.
I was gonna say I think we also we're the last thing that obviously when we have something new being presented to us, the first thing we're gonna do as human beings is compare it to the last thing that it reminded us of. Right? So we get this new WrestleMania build coming our way, and what's the first thing we think about? The last WrestleMania we had. Arguably, if not the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Emil and I were there. It was fucking awesome. It was one of the best weekends of my entire life. One of the best shows I've ever seen. Best wrestling show, both on TV and live, that I've ever seen. Top to bottom. The build for the main event was unlike anything I've ever experienced before as a fan. I think that is not a level we are going to attain every year. And I'm not saying that it's that you're assuming that it needs to get to that level. I'm not saying that you want it to get to that level, but I think it's making this one look very weak in comparison to last year. And I think that's part of why I feel like the hate is stronger than it deserves this year.
I'm trying not to hate. I'm just like what it's frustrating to watch when I know they can cook and I know that this could have cooked. But right now, like we're sitting here and we're 40 days out and we're kind of just we're waiting. We're still waiting, and I don't really feel like waiting at this point. This isn't the time for me to wait. If I bought tickets right now, I would still be like, "What? Why am I buying tickets?"
Honestly, I was gonna say during this pod, I'm glad because we all three of us had floated the idea of going. I'm glad none of us pulled that trigger because I would not be happy.
I would be a little annoyed, especially looking at those prices, right? Like by March 13th, right? And let's pretend like the timeline is a little bit more even. So let's pretend like we're in the middle of end of February. Let's pretend we're at like February 20th right now, right? Sure. I feel like that's a fair equal to where we're at right now, right? To the days amount to Mania, because Mania was April 7th last year. Now it's April 20th, right? So is that a fair-ish? Maybe March 1st?
Yeah,
at the latest, right? By March 1st, we were like, oh my God, this is going to be the greatest fucking ticket we've ever bought. Does anyone feel that way? Who bought a ticket? I would love to know. Yeah. I would love to know.
If you're on YouTube, drop a comment, let us know. Or on Spotify as well, let us know.
I would love to know because I wouldn't be excited. I wouldn't be at like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking lit. Like
I'd be excited about one thing, and it's Cena being heel. That's the only thing I'd be excited about.
That would be the only thing I'd be excited for. I'm not excited for the result because, well, maybe I am.
And because I like Jey. And Jey winning the world title, I would be excited about.
I mean, I'd pop for that, but like again, like I have my own gripes with that, but like that doesn't really matter either, because everybody is using their own feud to again talk about the Cena turn, which is again for what?
I mean, it's kind of the Roman Reigns effect, I think. It's something so groundbreaking, so industry shifting, ground shifting, whatever, that it permeates into other stories. And I
But
feel like in the months, especially because this year is devoted to Cena's retirement run, I think this year entirely is going to be built on similar to how we're still feeling the aftershock of Roman's title reign in the bloodline. And, you know, you helped Roman, so that makes you a bad person. Or you didn't help Roman, that makes you a good person. Or you know, with the Drew stuff, with the Punk stuff, with the Cody stuff, with the KO stuff, everyone had some kind of effect from the Roman story. I think the Cena story is going to have that same weight on the
but
wrestling world.
but nobody else used the Cena turn to then flip and put into their own promo to go talk about AJ, like Logan Paul using it to talk about AJ Styles. Like what? What the fuck was that? Also, on a complete side note and a random tangent, I did like Logan Paul talking about selling his soul. Kind of liked that.
Multiple people said that. Rock, I would sell my soul.
I would sell my soul to you.
And I love that. I think that's great. It makes it realistic.
I like Logan Paul doing it because I like the concept of Logan Paul doing it because that kind of just
it fits because Hollywood.
Yeah, we could have switched out Travis Scott for Logan Paul there. That would have been fun.
Yeah,
Yo, imagine.
That'd be nice.
But what if we have Postmania?
Cena Paul at SummerSlam?
No, I'll pass.
Not yet.
I'm just saying though, like, bruh, they got 5 weeks to fix it, but
I feel like if we do have an audience for this episode, I'm not saying we don't have an audience, but if we I feel like if we had a larger audience for this episode, we would have a lot of hate coming from this episode. Because I feel like the majority of this episode has
I just don't understand.
No. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying that the people watching would assume that you're hating, and that we all have said shit that's anti Mania 41 in this podcast.
I mean, I'm excited. Like it's a Triple H.
It's
like
still
it's Triple H at WrestleMania. Like we're cool, but like
wrestling is cool.
We're trying not to like. I don't know what we're doing. Like
agreed.
I feel like we're just going to a 2-day stadium show. When we should be, which again is why I hate that SummerSlam's not 2 days because.
Here's the thing. I'm going into this assuming that there is a point because I would rather go in and be optimistic. And then, now that I'd seen everything, if I realize, there really wasn't a fucking point of any of this, then I'll hate it. I'm not going to go in and say, well, there's no point, because we don't know if there's no point. We haven't seen it play out. We don't see the future. So that's why I'm like kind of trying to... And plus, it's WrestleMania season. These 3 months only happen once a year, so I'm just trying to enjoy the ride for what it is.
That's fair. That's all we can do, right, as fans, is just enjoy the ride. We can complain all we want, but until the ride is over... Just kind of gotta sit and wait till it all actually ends.
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? That's the problem.
Who knows? You never know what's gonna happen anywhere in WWE in any facet, including in NXT. NXT Roadblock, man, came out of fucking nowhere.
Great show.
Came out of fucking nowhere.
Didn't watch.
I'm dead.
It actually cooked. It was
I
really well done.
But I wasn't
special.
like actively watching. It was like background for me. But I watched Oba versus Moose. Solid match. Very solid match.
Neat.
The main event.
I heard old girl won both belts.
Yes, because Julia's injured.
Because other girl is hurt.
It's also kind of lame though. Like, why would they put the belt on Stephanie, knowing that they were going to put the world title on her anyway? They could have not had Stephanie beat Fallon and just have it be for the NXT women's title and have Stephanie win the women's title instead of hot-shotting the North American on her. They could have had the original story that I thought they should have gone with and had Zarya beat Fallon for the North American title. That said, I'm not mad about it. I'm definitely not.
Fuck you, that's why.
I'm definitely not mad about it. It's
cool.
fine. But it just kind of like, what's the point of making a women's mid-card title if all you're going to do is make it the second title that someone holds?
I get. Well, here's the thing, right? The only reason I'm not going to argue against it, but Stephanie Vaquer is now the second person in NXT history to hold the world title and mid-card title at the same time.
Really?
Yep.
She's also the first woman to hold 2 belts.
She's the first
in
woman
WWE
to do it.
since
the second person.
Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Becky.
There's
There's 2 people. Sasha and Bailey. I believe that was after Becky Lynch. I could be wrong, but I believe that was after Becky Lynch. They had the 2-woman power
belts,
trip.
not 2 world titles. Yeah.
Correct.
Does that count?
Yeah, I'd say. Well, I mean, these are 2 singles titles, so it's different.
Having a tag
I think it's different because these are 2 singles titles.
If I said world title, I didn't mean that. I said the last woman to have 2 belts.
Yeah. I realize. I think I was only thinking world titles. No.
Okay, semantics.
So Stephanie Vaquer is now the second person in NXT history to have held both major singles titles in her division in NXT. First being, do y'all know the answer?
Bearcat.
Yep. Oh, fuck you. Keith Lee.
Keith
right?
Lee.
And when Keith Lee won the NXT title, when he beat Adam Cole, everyone was like, sure? But everyone was fucking happy because it was Keith Lee. Right? At the same time, it goes, well, does that diminish the North American? Not really. Because he's going to have to defend both anyway. It doesn't really diminish when it's on the right person. And I think right now with Julia being hurt, Stephanie Vaquer is obviously the best other option to put both titles on, right? For right now. Because later, when Julia's back, probably in like a month or 2, you run it back, you ever get the NXT title back, and then you have Zarya be the one to take the NXT North American Women's title off of Stephanie Vaquer.
So Cora Jade was busy.
Cora Jade's hurt, is what Cora Jade's doing.
And not ready for it.
Yeah.
I thought Cora Jade said she wasn't hurt.
Did she not get concussed or something recently? I don't
know. She was also going after the TNA Knockouts title as well recently.
Yeah, there was that.
I will say this. It puts them in a really bad situation, and let me tell you why. Ideally, the goal of giving Stephanie 2 belts is to eventually keep her as the world champion, so she moves up from the North American to the world champion. How do you have a mid-card women's wrestler, hypothetically, beat the women's world champion for not that title, for the mid-card title, and continue that? I, at this point, think she vacates the North American title.
Yeah, it's good. Maybe.
Because I don't see someone beating the world champion for a different belt.
Yeah, it feels awkward.
It does, right? Even if, like, I think Stephanie vacates the belt, I think if I could bet, if gun to my head, right? If I put money down right now on who I think would take the women's title off of Stephanie at this point, the NXT women's title, my money's on Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, why not? I can see that. They might as well put a title on Jordan.
Or they have her win the women's North American title, but I don't think that they would take that much time with Jordynne Grace. I think she's above the North American title. Then again, so was Stephanie. And the problem was Julia was in the women's world title at that point. I don't know, man. We have options. I just don't know. Again, it's the growing theme of this episode is they have too many main eventers to know what to do with.
Is DX not cooking?
Yo, it just
are they overcooking?
When you said that made me think of the SummerSlam poster with the backyard barbecue with DX.
The barbecue.
Are they overcooking the steak right now?
I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking of the 2009 bit where Triple H has to go find Shawn and finds him working fucking in a corporate kitchen, and Shawn's like, "I don't like it here. They're mean to me.
I don't like it here."
And then he super kicks a little girl.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
The actor was his daughter. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was his daughter. Yeah. Which would have...
Man.
Anyway. NXT, though, great. Julia Stephanie was a great match. You know, Stephanie winning right now makes sense because Julia's hurt. Moose and Oba was such a fun, just meat slapper. I really want Moose to do more stuff in NXT from time to time. I think I know where you're going.
You saw it? Did you see it like within the last hour or so, or 2 hours? Oh, you didn't. Oh, I gotta get ready for this doozy.
Are we talking about the most recent potential acquisition, or are we talking about something else?
No. So, it was today, I'm pretty certain. Sorry, I'm typing to find it. Within the last 12 hours, Moose revealed some plans, supposed plans, that were lined up for him in TNA. Gentlemen, in 2023, TNA was this close, allegedly, to signing the hottest free agent in wrestling that had not wrestled in a decade. CM Punk.
Yeah.
And feud with Moose.
We knew that.
I don't believe we knew that.
I don't think we knew this. The feud
I knew
part.
that.
I knew they
Oh,
were
the
trying
feud
to
I didn't know, but
no, I know everyone
knew
knows
TNA,
they were
everybody
trying to
knew
get
TNA was trying
everyone
to
knew they were trying to get
Yes, but Moose just said today that if Punk was signed at that deal in 2023, they would have had him and Moose feud.
I mean, who else was even a face?
I mean, it makes sense, right? But hey,
Ziggler wasn't there yet.
I just find that hilarious to me. Anyway, I digress.
Who else was he going to face? Nobody.
Josh Alexander.
Maybe. Wait, was Joe Hendry even there yet? Like,
no,
nobody was there. Like, absolutely. That's who he was going to face.
He would have faced Jordan Grace 1,000%. TNA does intergender stuff.
2023.
He also would have booked himself to take the L too.
Oh yeah,
Jordan Grace could have at that point. They could have potentially done Punk Ospreay
in 2023.
Yeah, because that's when Ospreay was still not assigned to AEW.
Don't say that too loud, or Meltzer's gonna want to give it a 5-star without it even happening.
Ospreay, what a guy. But yeah, Moose needs to be doing more, and I'm hoping he does more. Hardy's and Fraxium was great. Hardy's win, but Fraxium looks so good.
The Hardys win the battle, but Fraxium will win the war.
Yeah, they will.
I hate to steal all of Santi Zap's shit, but I'm a MILF, man. Man, I love Fraxium. So good. So good.
Everyone loves
That's what he's been saying. He's like, I'm a MILF.
Fraxium.
Man, I love Fraxium.
No one loves the Acclaimed anymore because the Acclaimed are dead too, which
also,
is a damn
Fraxium,
shame.
Because they lost.
Also, Fraxium is fine.
Fraxium is fine. Fraxium is fine. What else was there from that show? Ethan Page had a great street fight against Javon Evans. I think we're eventually going to see Ethan Page move up.
Yo, Nextra Bu Shield attacked fucking Javon.
What the fuck did you just say?
Extra Bu Shield.
So
what is their actual
Nexus
name?
Retribution.
They don't have one yet.
They don't have
Nextra Bu Shield until they do.
Someone was just calling
them
Outsiders.
It's a mix of all of them.
I'm gonna start watching Evolve, man. Fuck this shit.
It's Nexus. It's Retribution. It's what's the other one? Yeah, Nextra.
What's
Nextra
Evolve on
Shield.
Tubi? That's what
It's
I'm
Nexus
done with this
Shield
bullshit.
Retribution, bruh.
Ugh, I don't like that.
I'm
name.
done with this bullshit,
Stop that.
man.
Anyway, they attacked. Cool.
They're kind of cool. I like that they attack while music plays, and the arena has cool lighting.
Yeah, they do. I like the arena lighting. That's for sure.
Big fan.
But
go you, Nextra Bu Shield.
Stop that.
I'm hungry.
This man's gonna crash out again.
I've hated too much wrestling today.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Emil crashing out on camera. I have been Tyler. That has been.
If you want to see the version before this, you can go check the Patreon.
Patreon.
If you want to see, you
didn't know that? We didn't write you in the contract. To be fair.
Yeah, I figured.
If you want to see Emil fully crash out, you can go over to our Patreon that doesn't exist yet.
Why would you say that? Just let me cook.
And that is Emil crashing
burnt
out.
my asparagus.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching Kickout Club Wrestling this week. You can follow us on all social media platforms. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitter, as Bernie Sanders would say. We are. We are on
Twitter.
L.
Good move.
I was going to say LOL. I don't know why I didn't finish that. I just said L. And we are on Instagram, but we don't use it right now because, not really worth it right now. We're not getting the views on Reels, man. We're just not getting them. And that's
Y'all
fine.
want to go share our shit?
Yeah, you should. You know why? Because you sat through an hour and 38 minutes of us all crashing out.
Crash out.
Yeah. And so that clearly means that you like us enough to support us. So that's the best way you can support us. Another great way to support us is going on all podcast hosting platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube in both audio and video formats. Not really audio on YouTube, but you get the point. Video on YouTube, audio elsewhere. You can subscribe. You can like. You can share. You can leave comments. Tell us your favorite part of Emil's crash out or his worst take, because you know, we all have bad takes. I'm just messing. We got to keep the feud alive. That's what keeps people tuning in every week. Not really. Come for the memes, stay for the feud. Or come for the is it come for the feud, stay for the takes? I don't know what it is, but
come for the memes, stay for the memes.
Y'all,
you're
and most
tanking,
importantly, I'm actually doing great. Most importantly, go check out my recent video on our channel. I put out the fantasy booking of how they should book Gunther and Jey Uso, and it would save you a whole lot more time to watch that than watch the whole hour that we talked about it in this
All right,
podcast.
three
But you
three
already
plugs
did.
of your video is a lot of dick riding for me.
Hey man, listen, I'm trying to boost up those views. Y'all. Thanks so much. Y'all stay well. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, the train is on the tracks a little bit better. See y'all soon. Oh, and I wasn't just talking about WWE either.
No, absolutely not. They fucking